Shalom, all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. There were honors to the apostles and the others, the great Millstone. Shalom to the elect. Bashem Rechal Chodash. My name is Jacob from Plaintables Camp. This is cutting off from your flesh. First example is give here when it talks about the woman, not really focusing in on the woman, but it says this is Ecclesiasticus, Sirach 25 and 25. Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad. Meaning you have to exercise control to keep those demons at bay when it coming out of a woman. Give a water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad. And mate that with overmuch liberty. If thy, so temperance, control. If thy daughter be, this is Sirach 26 and 10. If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty. So I'm not really focusing in on the woman. I'm just focusing more so on the idea, the virtue that we have to be temperate. You have to exhibit self-control. All right. So these are examples. Watch over an impudent eye, and marvel not if she trespass against thee. These are general words of wisdom to understand the nature of women and how to get her behavior under control. However, in these modern times, you're more than likely going to have to do the last part. It says, Sirach 25 and 26. If she go not as thou wouldest have her, cut her off from thy flesh, and give her a bill of divorcement, and let her go. So, now, legally, when we marry a woman, we're supposed to be with that woman for the rest of our life. All right. However, in this current setup that we're in Babylon, America, and the current distress, you don't have to divorce a woman by giving her a bill. You can just ignore her and she'll eventually go away. All right. If she's not performing her duties as a wife, and or if she becomes, let's say, dangerous, so I bring these two out for general information. Just a woman seems to be the theme in both of these precepts, but cutting off things that are hindering you from your life is important. That's the only way you're going to progress forward to your next level, is to cut certain things off, right, and or mitigate them. Go to Matthew 5 and 30. And if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off and cast it from thee, for it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not the whole body should be cast into hell. Now here the member is another brother within the body, within the ministry. All right. But the same point still stands. If you have something within the body, the church, or your own body that you need to get rid of, to cut it off. And hearing videos like this, they remind you, because we constantly have to be reminded of the tools we have. Because sometimes, if you don't review things, they're eventually going to slip. So you always have to be mindful of the power that we actually have to make our lives easier by keeping these wise sayings of our ancestors. All right. we got here. It says 2 Timothy 2:24, no man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who hath chosen him to be a soldier. Yeah, I mean, there's a balance. It doesn't mean it's 50%, 50%. Balance just means correct. All right, it could be 60, 40, or it's 20, 80, or not 20, 80. Yeah, 20, 80, or 70, 30. All right. Balance meaning perfect or correct. No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of his life. Let's look up this word. Entangleth himself. The affairs. Prosecution of any affair. It's
prosecution.
All right. Business occupation. All right. Every brother's going to have different levels. Bios of life. Sustain. Wealth. Resources. Wealth. Word. Life. State of existence. With the occupation. Business. Of this present state of existence. All right, so there's going to be certain things, we work, we have our businesses and everything, so we'll be involved in a certain level. But like Paul was a tent maker, all right, but it said this here, it says entangle himself with the affairs of his life doesn't mean being in too deep. All right, don't be in too deep, and every brother's going to be different for every brother. Now again, we're not going to be multimillionaires and billionaires. But we're going to have our business and our jobs and our so-called careers. But, that balance, that's, between you and Yahawashi. And we have a certain tradition amongst ourselves. But, that's between you and the Father and the Son. All right. There are examples, such as, being an athlete, entertainer. Most of them are not really going to be in the faith. All right, you're going to have a very low percentage, 0.010%, but, it's up to Yahawashi. You had certain examples of, men that were of reputation in the world that were in the faith, but it's not going to be typical. All right. And if any man also strive for the masteries, yet he is not crowned except he strive lawfully. All right. Nomimos. Law agreeable to law properly. Man, we have a tradition. We have a law like in the scriptures, and we have a tradition. All right. And our behavior should line up somewhere in between. All right. Legitimacy, speciality, agreeably to rules of the list. Yep. Yeah, so they're written down. So, or oral. We written or oral. So we got the physical law, and then we have our tradition. All right. A man, if he also strive for the masteries, yet he is not crowned except he strive lawfully. All right. No man that warreth, and we're, in spiritual warfare. Though therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahawashi Mashiach. So we're Yahawashi's soldiers. No man warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who hath chosen him to be a soldier. All right. So we're not in too deep. Right, that is determined, by our traditions and that relationship that we have with Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi. I think I have one more here. John. Why not pull this out? Okay. KJV, 1 John 5:16. If any man see his brother sin, a sin which is not unto death, he shall ask, and he shall give him life for them that sin not unto death. There is a sin unto death. I do not say that he shall pray for it. All right. So there are some sins that are committed that, when you come into the faith and you're born again and you commit those sins again, you can't come back into the faith. All right. And that's ultimately up to Yahushua. All unrighteousness is sin, and there is a sin not unto death. All right. So we can sin sins, but just because we sin them, they don't mean that they're death-worthy sins. All right. This is NLT, New Living Translation, I believe. New Living Translation. 1 John 5:16. If you see a Christian brother or sister, well, it doesn't say Christian. If you see a brother or sister, I don't say sister either, I believe, but yeah, they're trying to make it more inclusive. Sinning in a way that does not lead to death, ye should pray, and the power will give that person life. But there is a sin that leads to death, and I am not saying you should pray for those who commit it. All right. So there is a sin unto death, and you may not give forgiveness if you commit that sin after we're reborn through the Holy Spirit. All right. All wicked actions are sin, but not every sin leads to death. All right. So to improve, we have to cut things off out of our life. We have to go to the next level. All right, so I hope this was edifying. Oh, masteries. He's not crowned. Master. Let's look up masteries. This is 2 Timothy 2:5. We got Stefano. To encircle with a crown, to crown to victor of a contest, to adorn with honor, to be victorious. So the point that we're pushing to, how are we going to get there and receive that crown? And if any man also strive for the masteries, yet he is not crowned, except he strive lawfully. He will not win. He will not reach that goal unless he strive to agreeably what was written down, what's orally, agreeably. All right, so leave that there. Hope you edified. Shalom.